Fun day all the way around. And, great day to be at Den. Had a huge win in soccer today. You don't get to see that a whole lot, to see us advance, got a bye, and then won today. And then, just how it falls, right? Vermont, the 1 seed, loses, and we get to host again. So hopefully everybody's going to come out on Sunday and pack that out. That's going to be awesome. Really happy for Doug and the legacy that he's created by staying and building that soccer program. It's been fun to watch, and to see him get rewarded on his last run it's really been amazing. Great day in the arena. Thought, again, arena really popped. Student section, fans, just the energy in the arena. It was neat to have Ravenel Curry back today at the game, and obviously couldn't have done this without him. And so to have him here and to see how electric the arena was and just how it presented itself, I've been in here now a couple months, and it just hadn't gotten old yet. And great place to play a game. And man, it's a lot more fun when all of a sudden it looks like we can take care of the ball a little bit and make a couple shots and play defense and win the battle on the boards and play what looked like a good Furman basketball. And so was really proud of our team. I'm gonna tell you what, that's a good team we just played, and you're gonna see that's one of those wins that's gonna get better and better as the year goes on. They got a really, really good team, and they went up to Duquesne and had a shot to win it in regulation. And they just, went back and forth. Winthrop could have won that game on opening night, and have just been playing well. Very well coached. Grant does a phenomenal job with that group. Very, very difficult to guard. And, our staff did a great job in game planning. Our defensive coaches, Coach Pierre and Coach Kimball, I thought did a magnificent job with the plan. And, a little bit non-conventional, which I thought was pretty fun. And I'm not sure if you guys picked up on it, who Coop was starting on the game. We put Coop on the point guard. And, it was really just to try to, restrict the paint, because they'll space you and they'll drive you and they'll kick it and they play off 2 feet well. And like they just run really good concepts. And they've got a lot of shooting out there. They made 17 threes on Greensboro, and they made 15 threes the game before that. And so we thought we had to do a really good job of making sure that we tighten the floor up. And to have the ability to be extended a little bit on number 11. And he's as good a shooter as I've seen. I mean, good gracious. I mean, you watch his highlights. I mean, he's 25 makes from 3 on 43%, and they're tough. I mean, they are tough ones. And so we knew we had our work cut out for us there, but our guys did a good job. And they adjusted, which I knew they would. They got more shooting on the floor in the second half, and kind of stretched us a little bit. And they ran some of those perimeter wide pins there that gave us a little bit of problem. But, proud of our guys. Knew that Queens would punch again, and they cut it to 10 there with 4:05 to go. And thought we did a good job of getting control of ourselves and not letting it get any worse and closing the game out. 20 assists, less than 10 turnovers. I think we had 4. Man, I can't imagine the pass count being less than 300. Thought the ball popped and made 12 threes. So I don't know who showed up the last couple of days, but we look like a team that can make a few shots and take care of the ball. It's amazing what happens when those two things happen. So our team has learned that quickly. 5 double-figure scores, which we always like to see, and I thought we had great movement all day.
Coach, I want to ask you about that longest 3, because Alex kind of looked at it, and he just shot it from like 30 feet. And he sometimes seems to, at the top of the key a lot, too. He'll kind of pause, study it. A lot of times that doesn't go in when you look at it as long as he does. But a lot of times he makes those, and like he did today. Can you just speak to how kind of his approach to shooting? And obviously he was a superstar today.
Yeah, Alex is he's got a chance to be special. There's some things that we've got to continue to clean up. And, he's stubborn and I'm stubborn, and we got a great relationship, and I love him to death. But, when you play at a certain level and then all of a sudden you change quickly and all of a sudden you're starting, and you were in high school a year ago, and then all of a sudden you're a starting point guard and you're playing against Alabamas and High Points and Troys. And y'all see that Troy beat San Diego State and then had a chance to beat Southern Cal. Man, it's a lot at once, and then you got to deal with noise and you got to deal with all that. And I've really just tried to make sure, hey, listen, there's a few fundamental things that you got to understand. knowledge is going to be key. You got to know what we're doing. You got to know our stuff like the back of your hand. You got to play on 2 feet. You got to have breaks. The best part about him is his creativity. Okay, that's what makes him fun to watch. The speed of which he can play with, the vision that he can have. But it's just like a good car that can go fast. You want to be able to stop that thing a little bit. And he's really had to learn how to stop well. And it's some habits that he's been able to get away with at this point in his career, that in order to take care of the ball and to find others and to take great shots, it's been a little bit of work in progress, but I think he's made a lot of strides. I think he only had 2 turnovers tonight. I thought he played a beautiful game, and he's not done getting better. I mean, it's his ceiling is so high. I mean, it's just him realizing how hard he's going to have to work and how consistent he's going to have to be. He had a great practice on Friday, probably his best practice he's had all fall, and just continuing to attack days and win the day. I think he's going to be a different player even when we get into January and February than he is right now.
I wanted to follow up on that just a little bit. After that long 3-pointer, the next time down, he bounce pass to Cooper for the dunk. So it's not like he hit the 3. It's like, all right, now I'm hot at the 3.
No, I thought he did a great job. I mean, he took 7 threes, made 3 of them, 15 total shots, and he had 7 assists. And so, his production, I thought he did a good job of not, taking some of those early dribble threes. I thought he probed well today. I thought he did just a better job of not settling and just take the ones that come to him. And look, if he sees the rim and he can step into the ball, or if he shoots it in rhythm, and like even some when he gets going, he's off the dribble. Like we're gonna let him take some of those. I want him to be in rhythm, and I want him to understand time and score situation. And we got the ball moving a little bit. What's the shot clock at? And so we're putting a lot on him in that area. But man, he's in the building every day. He's trying to get better every single day, and I think he's going to continue to grow.
I think you said a few games, or maybe a couple weeks ago, there would be a game where it clicked, and then for me today, the player that looked like dominant down the stretch and in stretches was Cooper Bowser. Can you just talk about his performance today? And there's one sequence where he had a dunk and a block. It was really impressive. Can you just talk about that?
I think our team's doing a much better job finding him, and he got fouled down there a few times as well. He got to the free throw line 6 times today, made 5 of them, which is huge. I think our team's looking at him on some of these roll finishes that we weren't seeing, a couple weeks ago. I thought there was times today where we could have, thrown it to him a little bit more, especially on some ball screen back action and in, especially when they start switching. But, Coop's been working hard. Coop's just in a great place. His process is right. He's working hard. He's practicing well. He's leading well. And, again, I don't think he's done growing. Just putting him in that role. They really tried to pressure him hard tonight. I thought he handled that well. I thought he had, 0 turnovers, right? And they were in him. A lot of teams last year could really pressure him in the elbows or at the top of the key and can kind of push him off his dribble a little bit. But I thought he did a good job of finding some action. And then, if he can find some action and then get off of it, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the rim. And then you got shooting around it. That's going to make things tough. And, it was good tonight. We played lineup-wise. We decided to play Ben a little bit more 4 than 3, but still playing up some 3. Really, when he was at the 3, we kind of played Chuck as a 3 and him at the 4. We also slid Vandy in at the 5 a little bit. Not sure if you guys noticed that or not. That was the first for us doing that, which let him run the offense from the high post position, which I thought was pretty effective, especially when Coop was out of the game. And so we're learning the rotation. I thought it was cleaner tonight. We played 1 less, and that really wasn't anything against any of the guys that were playing. It was more just trying to get some of our main guys in some more clear roles and, trying to get Vandy a little bit more at that 4 some as well, which I thought put a lot of pressure on the defense. They couldn't really collapse as much, how they were guarding him. And he had a couple nice rolls there. He had that wraparound. That was a beautiful pass by Alex on that roll. He had a nice little short roll in the first half. And I thought Vandy was a machine tonight. I really thought he was impressive in just all areas of the game. Only had 6 points and 5 rebounds, but a plus 23 in 29 minutes. And thought he was the straw that stirred the drink a lot tonight and was a huge boost for us.
Coach, you opened up talking about Coach Doug Allison getting the win today. How important is the friendships that you have here with the other coaches here at Furman? I saw you out at the soccer game for the SoCon Championships, and everybody is supporting everybody, and it just seems like everybody's feeding off of the winning energy right now at Furman.
Yeah, we've got a great department here, and we've got a great AD and Jason Donnelly, and then we've got great coaches, and they've been around here a long time. They've won a lot of games, and we had some guys drive up to Asheville last night to support our volleyball team. And I was okay with that. Like some coaches be like, no, y'all got to stay. But, we want them to come and support us. And Michelle Young's done an unbelievable job with the volleyball team this year. And unfortunately, they didn't win last night, but that doesn't take away from an unbelievable season. And, we had 4 or 5 guys drive up there and support them last night. We had guys wanting to go out to the soccer game for a few minutes this afternoon before pregame meal. We did our walkthrough and our film this morning at 9:30 to allow them to be able to do that. I feel like that's some of the college experience, and the coaches that we have here from, the Garys and what they've done in the cross-country program to even the program that Clay's built. I mean, they competed last night, right, and played really well, especially in that second half of Death Valley. And, it's nice to see when you get established coaches and, at a place like Furman when everybody can pull for one another. I remember first game of the year, I had to apologize to Coach Burr, the women's soccer coach, for driving up to Rock Hill to watch that disaster, that we played in that High Point game. But, drove to Rock Hill to watch us play. And so it's what makes Furman special. And, we all got to support one another, learn from one another, and, keep pushing ahead together.
Coach, it's kind of odd because he didn't score tonight. But, Tom House is a shooter, and he had a tough miss tonight. One of his misses was pretty bad. It seems like a guy that shoots, that's proven that he can shoot like that, would get down after something like that. But I thought he played really hard defense, had 2 assists, and just gave y'all energy even without scoring.
Listen, Tom House is going to be fine. Okay, he's going to be fine. I've watched him the last couple of days. I've watched his energy. I've watched him be a great teammate. Shooters shoot, and it's easy to say when shooters aren't making shots to go do other things. Like, listen, that doesn't work. Okay, shooters start to feel good when they go make shots. That's just the reality of it. And, he's going to be an integral part of this team. And this might be an 8-man team. This might be a team where we can only play 8 to get all these guys the amount of minutes necessary to be able to keep them fresh and keep them rotated. We got a lot of guys that could start, like could Ed start on this team? Yes. Right. Could Tom House start on this team? Yes. And, it's probably going to be like a 7-starter mentality. And then we sprinkle in 1, maybe 2 at times, depending on foul trouble. Almost went to Owen at one point when Chuck got into foul trouble early. Almost went to Baba for a couple defensive stretches there. We got guys that can help us there. But I think in order to get when you have a team that's got 7 guys that could legit be starters, to get them enough minutes to satisfy and to feel like they're out there long enough to get something done, we might have to play a little bit less than we have the past couple of years. But I've got full faith in Tom. A little bit of it was a timing deal. Had a tough injury right as we were kind of getting into play, and you get back from that, and then all of a sudden your rhythm's not quite where it needs to be, and then all of a sudden you're hitting games, and so you don't have those long big practices. And listen, he's a great shooter. We don't make it to the championship game last year without him. We don't start kind of sending back up in the direction to be a 25-win ball club last year without him. And tonight we put him in a critical moment. We subbed him in for Asa when Asa was tired. I got full trust in Tom House. And this is not a demotion at any stretch. Okay, we're going to be sitting here really quickly as early as this weekend saying Tom House won us a game, because he's got the ability to do that. He's got the ability to go in there and bang a couple threes. And what I appreciate about him right now is he's fighting it. He's trying to just put his focus in the right things, and then eventually it's going to start to fall for him. I got full faith in that.
One of the guys that you did have come off the bench, another guy that you had come off the bench, and really I thought in moments like I mentioned with Cooper, but like the defense that Edgerrin Brunson put on the shooter at the end of the half where they're trying to drive the ball down. I think Ben mentioned it earlier. And then he draws the foul on the 3 at a big moment. Can you just talk about him and his play tonight?
Well, and then he hit 2 threes before that were huge. And, Ed's the one that, I was getting similar questions a couple weeks ago, in terms of, what's wrong with Ed? Nothing's wrong with Ed. Like, all these guys, like, they're at a good program that's won a lot of games for a while, and they're kind of next man up, and they're in this bigger role, and there's some pressure that comes with that, and there's some expectation that comes with that. There's some real weight that comes with that. And never more than ever, because you got all the social media stuff, and you got everybody. It's just like I said on radio, right now in the world, we never more than ever do we overestimate what we lack and underestimate what we have. And we just spend so much time in life just underestimating what we have, right? And overestimating what we lack. And everybody wants to talk about what we lack, right? And then these guys got to hear it. And so then you gotta motivate them, and you gotta show them every day that, like, this is what you have, this is what you can be. And part of that is that's going to turn into coaching. I mean, can you motivate players and convince them of the gifts and the skills that they have in the midst of, all the noise, right? And I mean, man, we can't shoot. Are we going to win a D1 game? We can't take care of the ball, like all this stuff, right? And now all of a sudden it's like, wow, Ed came out there and helped us win a game today. Ed looked fine at point guard today to me. I mean, how many turnovers did Ed have? 0, right? Like, looked like he could take care of the ball to me. Looked like he could shoot today, and that's like underestimating what we have. Like, Ed Bronson's a good player, right? Like, anybody watch North Texas last year, right? Him and Tom House. Like, if you want to doubt how those two are going to help us, go look at that game. But they're in new roles, and they're adjusting. And so there's a patience, and there's a care, and there's a support that we got to have for them. But then we got to hold them to a standard, and then we got to say, hey, let's go out there and do it. But look, Ed's another one. Like, as he gets comfortable out there and his confidence starts growing, you're going to see him continue to climb. And he's a shot maker. He's a worker. He's a great person. He's a great teammate. And man, he's what we like around here. And nothing thrills me more than to see him make those 2 big ones. And he apologized to me for the heat check. I was like, don't apologize for that. Like, you earned the right to pull that. And I want him playing aggressive like that. I want him going out there and saying, you know what, like, I'm gonna be a playmaker out here. I'm gonna play with an edge and some confidence about me, because he's more athletic and he's got more explosion. He's got more burst than we know yet. And as he gets more confident, he starts kind of shedding some of the overthinking and overanalysis. You're gonna see a guy that's gonna continue to get better.
Coach, going way back, you were assistant here back in this time of year where nobody was calling Furman to get him to come to play in their Thanksgiving tournament. Now you're going to Disney this year. You're going to place a good Richmond team on Thursday morning. And what's those experiences like for this team? And you can also preview Richmond a little bit if you like.
Well, Scott, that's funny you say that. One of the things you always heard when I got the job, was everybody wanted, like, man, why don't we go to these fun tournaments? Why don't we get invited to play in these destination places? And, and this is the 4th year in a row ESPN has asked us to be in an event. And before that, we had been in 0. And, you look at it, going to the Charleston Classic, going to the Myrtle Beach Invitational, going to Las Vegas last year and playing before Kansas Duke. Those are experiences that the exposure that the university gets off of this. This isn't ESPN Plus, this isn't ESPNU, this is ESPN2, right? This is national exposure that you just can't turn down for what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build here. We need as much exposure as we can get. And that's what we want to be. We want to be the front porch of the university. We want to be something that allows the university to be seen at a national level. And so when ESPN calls you and says, hey, will you come into this? Will you play in this event? You take it. And you don't really sit there and look like, oh man, they're in the A10 and they have more money than we got. And You just go line up and you go play. And we're gonna leave Tuesday. We're gonna have some good time down there together. We got families all coming down there with us, so it should be a fun Thanksgiving time together, which I think is gonna be special. And we'll have a good Thanksgiving meal on Thursday night. But Richmond's good. They're really good. I mean, VMI's gotten off to a good start as well again. And Andrew's done a great job. But they beat them by, I think they won by 30 the other night. And Chris does a great job. A lot of similar beliefs offensively and just kind of how they play. And so we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to guard really, really well. And then we'll play, either Charlotte or Illinois State. And both those teams are going to be really good as well. So look, the hard schedule, that's what we want. And that was the whole pregame talk today was, hey, listen, President Lincoln, he had a great quote, like, can't sharpen a razor on a piece of velvet, right? Like, we're not growing boys by playing all these easy teams and making this thing to where, we won. Like, the hard times are going to build this team. And listen, it's unavoidable. We got freshmen out there. Not many people have freshmen out there. Okay, but our freshmen are good, and we got also guys that are upperclassmen that are learning new roles and having to build confidence in those roles. And by the way, we're playing a really tough schedule, and so these times are what make us. And great Novembers don't always create great Marches. And one of our hardest Novembers around here, like I've said, was what created our best March. And so we're not afraid of some failures to expose what we got to get better at, as long as this team stays motivated to keep working on things. And man, I was so excited leaving practice on Friday night, just seeing how well we practiced and seeing our spirit and seeing, how competitive we were and the passion of which we played with, and guys taking pride in going out there and trying to play Furman basketball. And then they got rewarded for it today. So, it's the next challenge. It's going to be a big one, but our guys are going to be excited about it. We're going to enjoy this tonight and rest up tomorrow, and then get to some hard preparation on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then go out there and tip this thing up on Thursday and Friday.